Hi, everybody. Welcome. If you're having a good day. See if anyone's going to hop on. 12:01, just in time. Hope you're excited. So today we're going to talk all about hormones and acne, how this affects your acne, how this affects what kinds of things affect your hormone, best products to use, lifestyle, supplements, all that kind of goodness. I do have a PowerPoint here to kind of keep us on track, keep me on track, and to make sure that I cover all of the important points. So I think we're going to get to that. So when it comes to hormonal acne, this is so common. It's everywhere. When I had a nutrition practice, this was one of the #1 things that I used to see women for. A lot of times you're going to hear too, like, I didn't have acne at all in my teens. Now in my late 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s, I'm still getting breakouts. They're crazy. Why is this happening? So the key is to keep our cortisol low. I know that's easier said than done, but cortisol is what kind of our body shoots out when we're stressed. It is a good thing because it alerts our body that it needs to change and adapt to the current situation. It's not a good thing when it's all day, every day, right? Back in the day, in caveman times, our body was alerted to stress through cortisol for usually 2 things. We were, being chased by a wild animal, or we just encountered some kind of wild animal in nature, or we were wondering where we were going to get our next meal from. We had to make fire, we had to go search for food, we had to bring it back to the family. Now, in those 2 instances, your cortisol would shoot up, you deal with the situation, or the situation would deal with you, and it would go down and it would be done. And that is how cortisol is supposed to work. In today's day and age, though, we have constant low-grade stress from the time we wake up, usually through to and including when we're sleeping. This is a concern because chronic low-grade stress signals our body to create an environment of chronic low-grade inflammation. Inflammation leads up to disease, viruses, breakouts, etc., right? It's an acidic state. You really want your body to try to always be in a state of alkalinity. That's where it's happy, homeostasis. Disease cannot thrive in alkalinity. So keeping your cortisol low will create an environment of a nice alkaline environment. The foods you eat, the thoughts you think, how much movement you're having in the day, your quality of sleep, supplementing, all those kinds of things. So let's get to it. I'm going to see if there's anyone in the waiting room. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, perfect. Hi, Colette. Welcome. I know lots of people are at work or on their lunch, so this is going to be saved to the YouTube so you can watch it. We just did a quick little summary overview of why in today's day and age we have chronic low-grade stress, and it's all consuming in your body. It's very dangerous. It's very detrimental to your health and your skin. So I'm going to continue with the PowerPoint. I'm going to pull it up. We're going to go over lots of things. I am really bad at just narrowing down information and keeping it simple because I feel like there's a lot there. So there is going to be a lot here, but if you have any questions, anyone, please just pop it in the chat and I'm happy to answer it, or email me after if you want it to be more private. So we will just share the screen and get to it. So hormones and acne. I used to teach this class at the Canadian School of Nutrition, so this is a PowerPoint from that one. We're going to go over a few things today. So what hormones do in our body, how our hormones become imbalanced, how to tell if you're experiencing hormonal acne or hormonal imbalances, how this affects your skin, and then some almost like prescriptions on what to do, how to eat, how to supplement, lifestyles to go over. I just see maybe some more participants over here. So let me. Oh, okay. And Elizabeth is in. Awesome. Okay, everyone's in right now. Okay, so acne and other skin problems are the result of an internal imbalance. So when you see your skin is breaking out, whether it's an easy kind of popping pimple, right, with a whitehead, or it's something a little deeper, either way, that's your body trying to push things out of your system. So if you're not peeing it, sweating it, or pooing it out, it's coming out of you. That's always your body telling you something's up. So facial skin is a reflection of internal balance. And by beautiful, this doesn't mean perfect and wrinkle-free and glowing. It means optimal. You are going to have the occasional breakout sometimes, of course, but this means just optimal, healthy skin. And remember, healthy doesn't mean perfect. So your skin can break out in an attempt to rid the body of various toxins and impurities that the digestive elimination system, right? So peeing, pooing, sweating, is not able to handle. Your skin is a massive organ and has the huge responsibility of working with your breath to keep you clean and pure. So on this note, again, of speaking about your breath, it is really important that we are breathing deep belly breaths. The state of your lungs in facial reflexology is the state of your skin. So your lungs, if they are moist and juicy and healthy, that is also how your skin should be. So facial reflexology, working on the parts of the lungs here on the face, either with the end of a pen or your facial reflexology tool, will help to rebalance the lungs as well. You know, just one of the things that can help rebalance the lungs, because the state of your lungs is the state of your skin. So waking up in the morning and taking those nice big deep belly breaths, like from the gut of your belly, push it out far, hold it, take a deep breath in, hold it at the top and push it out. Try to do that 5 to 10 times when you wake up, maybe at lunchtime and at the end of the day. Most of us just breathe from up here, and this is really detrimental, right? Especially in times of stress, and when we talk about lowering our cortisol, our breath, we always have our breath with us. That is a free tool. That is our own body, part of our own makeup, that when we feel like our cortisol and our stress is getting out of control, it's really important to deep belly breath. It's one of the easiest ways to alert your body to chill and to take it down a notch. Okay, so that is something simple you can do that's going to be great to help heal your skin. So everyone's skin reacts differently. We're all unique and we are all sponges, you know, and every sponge has a limit on how much it can absorb before it just will not absorb any more water and everything's going to start coming out. So imagine that is like your body. So everyone has a limit to their kind of chemical stress intake before it's just not going to take anymore. So hormones in our body are responsible for a million zillion things. The main function of our endocrine glands, so like our hormone glands, are to secrete hormones directly into our bloodstream. So imagine if you are constantly secreting cortisol into your bloodstream, right? Your bloodstream is literally right under your skin, like it's the next layer that's right there. So it is going to affect your skin huge if you have a hormone imbalance, or if you are experiencing chronic low-grade stress or just high grades of stress every single day. Sorry, there's a fruit fly in here. Don't ask me how, and it is not leaving my sight. So we need to get that under control. Hormones are chemical substances that affect the activity of another part of the body, right? So in essence, hormones serve as little messengers throughout your whole body that kind of tell your body what, when, and where to do things. So they regulate many things, right? Weight, metabolism, growth, sleep, sexual development and function, a million things. Your period, how well that goes, how not well that goes, your pregnancy, your post-pregnancy, all of those things. So some of the most important hormones are listed here. Serotonin, interesting, 95% of it is made in your gut. So what is happening in your gut is so important, because your gut, it's like your brain. It creates so many neurotransmitters and hormones that the health of your gut is ultimately the health of your body. So this is a question I used to ask in class. How many of you suffer from hormonal acne or know someone that does? I would say almost everyone had their hand up. So a few signs of Hormonal imbalance are persistent weight gain. So weight that you just can't shake. You're doing everything, you're eating right, you're working out, and nothing is happening. Usually with women, it sits in our midline because for us, a lot of our cortisol sits in our midline as well. You're constantly tired, you can't seem to kick it, you don't know why. It's kind of like a fog. You feel depressed or anxious all the time, low libido, hot flashes, night sweats. I know after I gave birth, I was sweating like a mother every time I was sleeping. Like it was just insane. And that was my hormones detoxing, metabolizing, trying to find a new normal. And then of course, persistent acne. So a lot of women break out during their period due to hormonal shifts. So if this is you and your period is, a regular thing, it comes regularly, it's a regular length and flow, you know what's happening, you could kind of also prep for this. So if your period is, you usually get breakouts, I would like a week or two before, start masking, start using the spot treatment where you usually use it, do facial reflexology on, your uterus, fallopian tubes, the area of menstruation, do gua sha draining in the neck. So you kind of like create a little plan around your menstrual cycle and what choices you make in your skincare. So testosterone stimulates excess production of oil, which can get trapped under the skin and merge with different bacteria, right? We are made up of bacteria and viruses, so this can happen. And then dead cells can lead to the clogged pores, clogging everything and kind of locking it in. So this is one thing that can happen with acne. So if you've never had your hormones tested and you're really suffering from this, I would get your hormones tested. Now, when you go to the doctor, they just have general ranges. So they might, through a blood test, find some really accurate results. But if you feel like you have a hormonal imbalance, but they come back saying that you're in the normal range, I would go to a naturopath. There is many tests that they can do that dig a lot deeper, that don't generalize kind of the population as much, that's more unique to you, or functional medicine, Chinese medicine doctor, as well as the Dutch hormone test. So it's a little bit pricey. It's $400 to $500, but the Dutch hormone test is one of the best tests, the most, it dives deep, the most accurate test that you can get for deciphering where your hormones are at this current time. So some other signs of hormonal imbalances, digestive issues. So cortisol production is naturally high in the early morning to help you wake up. So never mind, I'm just gonna say that next thing. I was just gonna elaborate, but I'll continue with the sentence. However, chronic stress may lead to adrenal glands overproducing cortisol and digestive upset. So another thing about this, so speaking of digestive upset, when you're nervous, you get butterflies in your stomach and you might need to go to the bathroom a lot more. You find that you're not hungry. So that's also kind of what cortisol will do. If you have chronic cortisol in your bloodstream, it's giving you that nervous, anxious feeling, causing your gut to always feel unsettled and uncomfortable. And another thing, talking about cortisol production, usually high in the morning. So one of the other kind of elements we use to diagnose, or I can't say diagnose, but to see if someone has hormonal imbalances, is if you wake up in the morning and you're super, super tired, but in the night you get a second wind saying cortisol is kicking in again to keep you going. Say you're like, oh my God, it's 8 o'clock, I'm so tired. And all of a sudden at 9:30, you're like, wow, and raring to go. That can be a signal that you have a hormonal imbalance because your cortisol is switched. You should be raring to go in the morning and totally ready to sleep at night. So keep in mind that. You have lots of headaches and migraines, but you don't know why. And you have breast changes. It could be around your period. It could be leading up to it. So tender, sore, you know what it's like to have tender and sore breasts when you have your period. So things that cause hormonal imbalances. I mean, this list could go on forever. So I'm going to take a drink of this elderberry tea first. Okay. So birth control pills. I think that the jury's out on this one. We all know that birth control really messes with your hormones. and it can take a while to get them back on track. Xenoestrogens, so these are fake estrogens found in plastics and receipt papers, in skin and body care with fragrances, phthalates, and sorry, there's a guy standing in the door here, and so I'm distracted. Things like that. So they're fake estrogens. So what happens is we absorb these fake estrogens and they lock onto estrogen receptor sites, pretending to be estrogen and then mimicking estrogen. So this can create like havoc in your body, which is why it's important to always be dry brushing, detoxing, doing what you can to minimize your estrogen load in your products or other things in your life that carry xenoestrogens, which we'll go over in a later slide. So tampons and pads that are non-organic and bleached as well can really mess with your hormones. So please choose natural, either the Diva Cup or tampons and pads. I think I use Natracare. I've used them for decades. They're awesome. They work just the same. They're great. But if you are putting chemicals and bleach and things up there, I mean, that's getting into your system. And I mean, a list of all other things. So let's just not do that anymore. Stress, acute or chronic or both, will mess with your hormones. Hormone medications, and then medical conditions, of course, conditions of the thyroid, diabetes, etc. Okay, so xenoestrogens, which we just kind of covered, they're compounds such as PCBs, BPAs, phthalates, which have estrogenic effects on a living organism. So you as the living organism. They look similar to body-made estrogen and can dock on your receptor sites, activate the same reaction in a cell, forming a natural cycle of hormones that include fake estrogens, right? This is not a good thing. Endocrine disruptors are a category of chemicals that alter the normal function of hormones. This is why it's important to know where your food comes from, choosing natural, all those kinds of things. It's not just a trend, it really does affect the health of you. Daily agitation over a prolonged period of time can lead to tissue and function changes, ultimately resulting in a chronic condition, right? So if you can nip things in the bud, if you are really intuitive with your body, and as soon as it starts doing things that are not normal for you, you start to make changes, you ask questions, you make doctor's appointments. Acute situations are a lot easier and quicker to deal with than chronic, right? So listen to your body, pay attention. You know what isn't normal. Go with your gut, be intuitive. Okay, so chronic conditions respond best to dietary and lifestyle changes. I mean, most conditions do. Xenoestrogens are fat soluble and not easy to be broken down. So this is also why they're a huge pain in the butt, because anything that's fat soluble sits in your fat cells. It is a lot harder to get things out of your fat cells than any other place of your body, right? So also keeping a nice healthy weight is always a great idea so that you don't have an abundance of fat cells for toxins and chemicals to kind of hibernate in. So the top places where you're going to find xenoestrogens are commercially raised meat and dairy products. So this means non-organic options, anything that contains insecticides or pesticide residues. So that's why it's important to wash your fruits and veggies if they're not organic, to not spray your front lawn in your backyard with crap. It doesn't need to look perfect, nor is it supposed to. The bees and the animals and the insects use all of those things. There's a purpose for everything. Tap water. This is why filtration system is necessary. Parabens in skin and body care, phthalates in skin and body care, artificial food additives, right, which is in most bagged, packaged, boxed foods, and foods that contain soy protein and soy protein isolate. So soy is a cheap filler. It's in a lot of things. It's disguised as many names. So watch out for that. Organic soy sometimes is fine, in my opinion. I wouldn't be super scared of it, but just be mindful, right? Okay, so guidelines to minimize your personal exposure to xenoestrogens. Just move this thing. Okay. Avoiding all pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides where you can. I mean, again, don't stress about it because stress is going to make you break out. So baby steps, know your limits, and just little changes over time make a big difference, right? I know that there's a famous saying about that, but I forget what it is. I think you know what the saying is. Okay, choose organic, locally grown, and in-season foods. Peel non-organic fruits and veggies. This goes the same for juicing. If you're juicing, try to juice organic. I know food prices are insane right now. It's like $1 million for a fruit tray. So this isn't always a viable option, especially now with the truckers. So just do what you can and don't stress. Buy hormone-free meats and dairy products where you can. Plastics, of course, reduce the use of plastics where you can. Don't microwave. I think that that's been around forever and ever. I know some people are like, that's a crazy theory, but don't microwave. Avoid the use of plastic wrap to microwave or store food, AV, and use glass and ceramic where you can. Household products, I mean, switch everything to natural where you can. Cleaners, laundry detergent. If, again, we went over the menstrual pads, the tampons, toilet paper, paper towel, all that stuff you're putting up and in and out, make sure it's clean. Coffee filters, maybe one that you didn't think of, but if you use them, a lot of them are bleached. So look for unbleached ones. Use a chlorine filter or different filters in your shower head. Avoid skincare with parabens, nail polish. Hello, choose a clean one. And essential oils over fragrance. I mean, this goes for candles, for everything. Just get that stuff out of your house. Okay, let's go on to supplements. Just take a drink first. Just want to make sure there's no one else in here. Trying to get in. Okay. So a quality probiotic is important. I feel like this is kind of a broken record suggestion, but we already talked about the health of your gut is the health of your overall being. So giving your gut what it needs is extremely important. Taking a probiotic every day, a really good one that you've got from a health food store, generally not off the shelf at Shoppers, is a good idea, as well as rotating probiotic rich foods. So every fermented food or drink comes with a different strain of bacteria. And research has shown that the more different strains that you have in your body, the healthier you can become or that you are. So things like miso soup, sauerkrauts, kimchi, kombucha, different fermented warm teas, poya. There's a ton of things that you can take on a regular basis. And this doesn't mean eating a whole meal of it. You could just take a spoonful of kimchi with dinner, make a nice miso soup for breakfast, all those kinds of things. So omegas, it's been shown that not enough quality fat in a diet can contribute to inflammation and acne, right? Because omegas help to keep inflammation down. They fight inflammation. They're needed to keep skin soft, smooth, and supple. They're needed to repair tissues, dissolve fatty deposits that block pores, and they also help in the healing process. So choosing an omega supplement 369 is really, really great and a good thing to take every single day. It's great to build your brain, to keep your joints nice and healthy, your hair shiny, all that stuff. Vitamin B complex. This is your anti-stress vitamin. This is what goes to battle for you when you're feeling stressed. Very important. Another thing to note, so omegas are going to store in your fat cells. You're going to need to take those with food in order to get optimal absorption. Vitamin B is water soluble. So these won't store in your body. You pee and sweat them out. So it is important that you are taking them daily. Otherwise, you're probably depleted. And Bs are just used for everything. Besides being a beauty vitamin, they're important for keeping your stress low, your metabolism, a ton of things. So keeping a healthy skin tone, improving blood flow to the surface of your skin, right, which gives you that nice, healthy glow. Deficiencies have been associated with different kinds of acne. So I like to just take a B complex. You don't necessarily need to just take one, right? Because there's different kinds of Bs, but they help each other work synergistically in the body. So it's great to take a complex version of that. So we talk a lot about chlorophyll. It's one of the easiest things that you can do to help alkalize your body. You just add it to your water, pretty much tastes like nothing. So it's pretty easy peasy. I do like 2 droppers in the morning in my water and 2 droppers throughout the rest of the day, afternoon or night. It is like plant medicine, right? Chlorophyll is from plants. So it's like magic sunlight potion that you're drinking to help keep you alkalized and your inflammation low, which means that your skin should start to glow in a nice, healthy way. Spirulina is also great. So per weight, it actually has a ton of protein in it. Again, it doesn't taste like much. It's very, very green though. So it will stain things. I like to add it to smoothies, to yogurts, to baked goods that you aren't baking. So I guess raw snacks. Why it's great in this situation is because it's very cooling. So if you have hormonal acne, likely there is a heat inside happening that needs to be cooled, right? That fire is causing breakouts. So you want to eat cooling foods. So not necessarily literally cooling in the temperature, but cooling in the Chinese medicine kind of category of cooling foods. So foods that cool your system, and spirulina is one of them. So it is a great thing. You can also take it in little tablets if you didn't get the powder to sprinkle on things. So maca is an adaptogenic herb. It's been around forever and ever. I feel like it was probably one of the first adaptogenic herbs to really kind of grab everyone's attention. So there's different colors out there: black for men, red and purple for women, which is super hormone balancing. There's also a yellow kind of one, beige one, which is the one I generally take. Also just kind of good for everyone. So that does have a stronger smell and taste to it. You do want to add that to foods. Again, a smoothie, you can add a lot of things in that guy. What was I going to say about that? So adaptogenic herbs are something you do want to take every day, because they adapt to your own personal environment. They work in 2 ways generally, like a thermostat going up and down. They work on your sleep and on your stress. So when they feel you are stressed and you need some help, they release. And when they feel that you're crashing and you're feeling fatigued, they release. So I think adaptogenic herbs are great because they're generally safe for a lot of people. There's not a lot of contraindications. Of course, always check with your healthcare practitioner when you are introducing anything new. But adaptogenic herbs are a great alternative. So look into them. There's lots out there. Reishi, chaga, ashwagandha, rhodiola. There's so many things. And zinc. Zinc is so tissue healing. We need zinc. A lot of us are depleted in it. If you take birth control, generally you are, because the copper in the birth control fights with the zinc for absorption and generally will win. So it is important to take a zinc supplement. Zinc is responsible for healing your tissues. So if you have scarring from acne, things like that, it's important that you have enough zinc to help in that tissue repair situation, and necessary in oil producing glands of skin, right? Okay, so things to eliminate or reduce in the food category. So we just got a few more slides to go through. So sugar, holla. I mean, I love sugar. It's not the worst thing in the world. It can be if you have it every day, because sugar will definitely not play nice with your hormones. So that's a place to start. Either go cold turkey or reduce it. Dairy products, if they're not organic, because you could be consuming excess hormones. Refined carbs, such as white bread, white carbs. Not all carbs are bad, and not all carbs are equal. We do need carbs. Our hormones need carbs. They need good carbs. Our brain needs good carbs for mood control, for focus, for work. So I don't suggest eliminating anything entirely, but choosing the right kinds of these food categories. Red meats, if they're not organic, they're going to come with excess hormones. Caffeine, I know, boo. I mean, I love a small glass of coffee every day. And this is going to be different for everyone. If you have multiple cups of coffee in a day, this might not be a good thing for you if you're noticing you're breaking out, because it increases our cortisol, which gives us more energy, makes us feel good. And cortisol directly imbalances our hormones, again, if it's chronic low grade. So if you're just noticing a few breakouts, but it's happened for a long time, just start cutting back your coffee. Again, maybe not going cold turkey. Maybe that's not a good option for you, but maybe just have like a tiny enjoyable glass in the morning. And again, what you put into it matters. And if you eat food with it matters. And please drink a glass of water, warm lemon water, before you put coffee in your body in the morning. It's like waking up and just sprinting on a treadmill. Your body is not happy. I wouldn't be happy if someone told me to do that. So be mindful about how you drink your coffee and enjoy it. Coffee is a lovely, delicious thing. Okay. Alcohol, again, I know these aren't the fun things, but alcohol, when broken down, this is sugar. Sugar feeds bad bacteria in your gut and will continue the load of imbalances and inflammation and wreaking havoc on your hormones, right? Leading to more breakouts. Rancid oils, this might be one that you don't think of, but rancid oils usually always create inflammation. So make sure that you are getting oils in a glass bottle that's dark. Oils are susceptible to heat, light, and time, right? These things will break them down. So if you're grabbing bottles off the shelf that are in a clear plastic bottle, likely they're already not good for you to consume. Let me see, question to everyone. A question about zinc in general. I was taking zinc after going off the pill for 1.5 years. At first I noticed it was really helping, but recently started to feel it wasn't doing anything for me. So I stopped taking it, wondering if this is a normal thing. Happen after taking supplements and yes. Okay. So this is a question about taking the zinc supplement. I think that it's always good to take a break from your supplements. I think it's generally good to take something for 6 weeks and then take a week off. And it's very likely that your body got used to that supplement. So to switch to another one, I would go in, talk to your local practitioner in the health food store and see what other options they have. Maybe there's another, multivitamin that has a good amount of zinc in it to take instead. But yes, absolutely, this can happen over time. Our body can get used to what it's taking, and that's why it's good to always switch things up, kind of trick it. I'm glad that you were noticing something though at the start. So this showed that, you did have a bit of a depletion and that the zinc was helping you get to where you wanted to go. So yeah, maybe just pop into your health food store and see what other options they have. I think it's always great too to just try different brands and see what your body is responding best to at that time. That's a great question. Supplements can be confusing and overwhelming. I am not an expert anymore in supplements. I mean, maybe when I was in school and after, but there's just so many things that are always changing. But that's what, the people in the health food store, they should be great. Great question. We already talked about do not start your day on an empty stomach drinking coffee only. Okay, so some great foods to include are eating complex carbs that are filled with fiber. Fiber is important because fiber acts to collect things that are circulating in your body that don't need to be and should be taken out. So fiber helps to bind excess estrogens, excess hormones, and carry them out of your body. So fiber is important. On that note, going to the bathroom, having bowel movements every day is very, very important, especially if you have a hormone imbalance. If you have an excess of hormones in your body, you need to be getting those out. If you are constipated or only going every other day, this is not a good thing, no matter who says it is. I mean, we should be like babies and pooing after every meal. And I mean like a good, solid bowel movement. Your bowel movements say a lot about your health, so pay attention to them. And if you aren't going every day, before you're adding supplements or doing anything crazy to change your hormones, you need to make sure you're eliminating every day. There's no point in changing anything if everything is still going to be storing and recirculating throughout your system, right? So the first place to start is making sure that you're eliminating. And hydration, fiber, and fats are the keys to healthy daily eliminations, as well as low stress. If you're stressed, if you feel stressed on your outsides, your insides are going to be tight and your bowel movements might look like long and thin, like a pencil. That signals that inside things are tight. So, I mean, yeah, lots of things to say about what happens in the toilet. Pay attention because it'll tell you a lot. Okay, eat clean forms of protein. So organic where you can. There's lots of plants that are super high in protein. Chia seeds, hemp seeds being two options that are like 100% protein, and you can put those on lots of things. If you're adding those to your diet though, and they're new for you, make sure you're also upping your hydration because they are full of fiber and they can constipate you if you are not drinking enough. And also start slow. Don't put like a half a cup in a salad and then expect to, not go to the bathroom. Okay, other great options are legumes, lentils. Comboing this with a wild rice or a brown rice will give you 100% protein. So a grain plus a bean or a lentil gives you 100% protein, which is really cool. Blue-green algae like, not chlorophyll. Oh, shoot, it's escaped my brain, but spirulina and another thing with a C that I cannot think of, but I will write in the YouTube notes. These are also huge sources of protein. A little bit goes a long way. Of course, organic eggs, and then fish is always a great source. Just make sure that it is not GMO and all that stuff, because then you're not really doing any good. Okay, healthy fats we talked about. So you want those really good oils in those dark glass bottles, eating plenty of flax, chia, hemp. Avocados are amazing. They're also loaded with water, so it gives you a lot of hydration, a lot of fiber, and a lot of healthy fats. Salmon, sardines, and then of course, eating foods that help your liver in detoxification. So your body is very smart. It's very capable of detoxing on a daily basis, but it's never going to say, no, don't help me. Don't give me things that will help make everything run more smoothly. So in order to aid in liver detoxification, you want to eat plenty of like dandelion root teas, cruciferous veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Those are amazing to help break things down and metabolize things that your liver's metabolizing. Cilantro, parsley, beets, these are all great for the liver. Dark leafy greens as well, very alkaline, so helps to decrease inflammation. And another thing I wanted to note about the liver is sulfur-loving foods. So like eggs. Eggs are a sulfur-loving food, and your liver loves sulfur-loving foods. It really helps in that detox metabolization phase of your liver. So get those foods in you too. Healing your gut is very important. So again, if your gut feels off, if you have symptoms of IBS, of constipation, of cramping when you eat, of major bloating, you want to fix those things again before you get into the nitty-gritty supplements and all that kind of stuff. You want to fix your bowel movements and you want to fix your gut. Zinc-rich foods, so nuts and seeds, shellfish, whole grains, garlic. Garlic is amazing at destroying bad bacteria. So eat your garlic, drink your garlic, whatever you do it daily. Water. This includes herbal teas, and it also includes water-filled fruits and veggies. So your water intake isn't just water. It can include all those things. So I encourage you to kind of spread it around, because sometimes it's not fun to drink liters of water, and a lot of us don't like water. So make it fun. There's things that you can add: lemons, limes, cucumbers, basil leaves, mint leaves. I love just drinking herbal tea all day. I'm more of like, give me warm, cozy drinks. I have like 7 on the go of all different things rather than regular water. So find out what works for you. If you are constipated, a really great drink to open things up in the morning is lemon and warm water with a pinch of sea salt. That usually helps to get things going. Okay, lifestyle. So when it comes to acne, hormonal acne, this can often be your root chakra that is a little bit out of balance. So for anyone that isn't really into chakras, or not really sure what they are, so we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. We have all these wheels of chakras that are supposed to be spinning kind of in the same way to help balance and create an optimal environment for our body, mind, and soul. It's rooted in Indian traditions and Ayurvedic traditions. It's really a cool thing to look up and kind of dive a little deeper into. Each chakra is associated with many things, but you can also look up various imbalances and diseases, viruses, and see what chakra they're related to see which chakra might be out of balance, and read up on it to see if that makes sense. So your root chakra is your first chakra. It's your red chakra. It keeps you stable in this life. It keeps you feeling secure. You generally feel loved. You feel good in your career. You feel good in your relationships. You know your family loves you. So it's like that base stability, finance, relationships, friendships, family, and career. It's your core. It's your roots, like your tree roots. So they're developed during childhood. It's the root core of your connection to the material world. It governs stability, survival, security, family, your tribal power. So have you found your tribe? Do you feel like you connect and you belong? Its main focus is a vitality to the physical body and the will to survive, thus understanding of the physical dimension. So if you're into that, look into it. Different ways to ground your root chakra are literally eating roots and foods from the ground that grow in the ground that will help to rebalance and ground you. Root veggies, carrots, potatoes, parsnips, radishes, all those kinds of things. So fresh juices that include these, nice hearty stews and curries and soups that include these kinds of vegetables are really going to help nourish your root chakra. Wearing red things, lighting red candles, right? Because your root chakra is red, purchasing crystals that are red, all those things will help. I think when you're trying to rebalance any part of your body, it's really helpful to take into consideration all parts of you, your body, your mind, and your spirit. So whether you necessarily believe in it or not, I don't think it hurts to kind of try out all the different avenues. Okay, so some other lifestyle suggestions are a liver detox. So I wouldn't necessarily do this first, but I would do this if all the other things that you've tried aren't working. There's some great little boxes that you can buy. I think I've used Wild Rose before. I like them with meal plans and supplements already put together for you. So it's pretty easy and it's very affordable. I got it from the health food store. I think it was maybe around $50. Minimizing stress, that's going to be huge. That's going to be number one, I'm going to say, for hormonal acne. Tracking your period is very important. Your period has 4 different phases to it, and they should generally be equal in length. If one of them is very short and one of them is very long, that tells you a lot. So tracking your period isn't just about, oh, my period started and my period ended. It's tracking all the phases in between it too. I mean, we should, as women, know what's going on more than just we got our period or we didn't. There's so much more that our body tells us about each week leading up to our actual menstruation and afterwards. So get a good period tracker and really look into it if you're suffering from hormonal acne, right? Be your own doctor and be intuitive. Moon cycling is interesting. So back in the day, before we were kind of inundated with electronics and Wi-Fi and wireless this and all the other words in that realm that I don't know, those things really mess with our being. So back in the day, they tracked everything by the moon. And the dark moon meant you bled. So the new moon and the full moon, you were ovulating, looks like an egg. And this is generally how women's cycles worked. So you can look up moon cycling. It's about eating different nuts and seeds and different fats during the first 2 weeks and the last 2 weeks of your cycle to get you back on track with Mother Nature, with the circadian rhythm of life. I find it fascinating. I did try it for a while and it was really interesting. So look it up. Dry brushing, gua sha, facial rollers, anything that gets things moving under your skin and out is really important. A lot of times we don't really touch our bodies, right? Our lymph system is sitting right under there. It's the sewage system, the garbage system of our body. It's really important to make sure we're dry brushing. When we're in the shower, we're scrubbing, we're moving our breasts, we're moving our face, we're moving our neck, all those things. There is a reason that, we say, do these things. Okay, you could also spot treatment. These are just obviously some product and beauty suggestions. So spot treating with a mask, you don't necessarily have to wear a mask everywhere. Eliminating fragrances, choosing natural options. So tea tree. If you have really oily skin, citrus and mint essential oils are great. If you have drier skin and that's why you're breaking out as well, essential oils based in florals are going to be lovely. If you have any kind of scarring from breakouts, vitamin E is amazing. And I know a lot of people will mix water and apple cider vinegar to use as a toner. I would like to add in an element of like aloe or floral water so it's not too drying to the skin. Oil cleansing is also going to be a great method to help with hormonal acne. So our facial soap bar is amazing as well. The reason why I say oil cleansing, so a lot of people use our triple threat, is because oil cleansing, it doesn't mess with your skin's microbiome, right? We have a microbiome on our skin just like we do in our gut. And oil cleansing is so gentle, and oil attracts oil. The longer you do it too, the deeper it's gonna go. So once a week, you could just sit, breathe, and do it for 15 minutes. Otherwise, it doesn't take a long time. I do it in the morning, get a cotton pad, run it under warm water, squeeze out the water, put a couple pumps of triple threat on, and start going. And then I just put a couple more pumps on and keep doing it for a couple minutes. And that's that. Your skin isn't tight. It's not overly oily. It feels great. And then I just use a toner and a serum afterwards as well. So that's that. Moving your body. So moving your body is important because it gets your lymph moving, your heart moving, your circulatory system moving, and it also helps with elimination and detoxification, right? Through sweat, through breathing, through all those kinds of things. So moving every day doesn't need to be hardcore, it can just be a walk. Getting vitamin E from the sun is going to really help with breakouts. Avoiding stress, finding ways that help you. I have jumped on the breathing train in the morning time. I've signed up for a membership, like a monthly membership, because otherwise I won't be held accountable. I think her name's Evolve with Erica. And we do like Kundalini breathing in the morning. And then I do a few stretching and yoga poses. And I have loved that. It helps me to feel calm. It helps me to, start my day right. Everyone has different ways in which they feel less stressed. So you just need to find out, what that is, because it's not always yoga, meditation, journaling. It could just be sitting and staring out the window at the birds. That's me sometimes, but you do you. Infrared saunas are also great, right? Infrared goes deep to the cellular level, helps with inflammation. So I have an infrared lamp when people come in for facials that I generally put on kind of the womanly area, the center, to help with that stuff. And then other things to do with the skin and routines. So minimize. If you're noticing huge breakouts and they're not going away, minimize what you're doing. Over exfoliating, over masking, over spot treatmenting is not going to benefit anything. Strip things back for 7 to 10 days, oil cleanse, use a toner, and then a simple serum as well. If you're using the right oils, oil is not going to make you break out. It's going to help the situation. I would avoid coconut oil on the face. It's generally not really good for most people. You want to strip things back and see what's happening. Use the odd spot treatment sometimes where you need to. Remember to gently exfoliate after that 7 to 10 days, but strip things back and reset them. Be mindful of your sleep. Are you getting quality sleep? Is your room dark enough? Is your phone away? All those kinds of things. Is it the right temperature? Do you feel comfy when you go to bed? Do you wake up feeling rested? Are you starting your day right? What are the thoughts you're thinking of? What are you eating when you wake up? Are you eating throughout the day? Right? There's a list of things. I do really believe, though, the biggest thing is keeping your cortisol low. Okay, I feel like I talk at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but that's it. That's what I got. That is my that's my presentation on hormones and acne. I hope that helped. If you're suffering from it and you've never had your blood checked and you've tried everything, seriously consider the Dutch hormone test. Go see a naturopath or a practitioner that you trust and you believe in, and see what they say, and then go from there. Make sure you're eliminating every day. Make sure that your gut health is good, and then you could start to add in major changes, different supplements. Not too many supplements at once. You want to see what's working, what's not working, and you don't want to overload your liver because it's possibly already, working overtime with excess hormones or just trying to figure things out and detoxify. And eliminate stress where you can. Is it your friend group? Is it people around you? Is it too many things on your list you need to delegate? All that kind of stuff. So when it comes down to it, you've just got one body and one beautiful face and beautiful glowing skin. So do the most, learn about it, be intuitive, get your period tracker, and just really learn about your body and listen to your body. This is going to be up on YouTube. I'm going to see if I can throw it up tomorrow. And if you guys have any questions, email me or throw them in the chat here. I hope you found this helpful. It's been a pleasure. I love to do these for you. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to use the different tools to relieve stress, which actually would go perfectly with this webinar. So anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Maybe, maybe not, or I'll see you on YouTube. I love all of you that are on here. Thank you so much for joining. It's been a blast. I am going to finish up making some products, and that's it. Love you guys, and I will see you next time.